Today we're going to do kind of an 80s inspired project. So I've provided 3 images for you. Now the first one, if you're wanting to use something different, you totally can find something from the internet. But the first one that we're going to open is going to be the car or whatever that you choose for yourself. You could use one of your own images or something from the internet. You just want to choose something that has like an 80s, like 90s vibe to it. Okay, so now we're going to do some new stuff in this lesson. So once you have your start image opened up into Photoshop, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a gradient map. So this is different than a gradient because it is going to be an adjustment layer. And we haven't talked about adjustment layers too much yet, but adjustment layers are non-destructive. So we're going to come down to the very bottom of our layer panel where you have this half and half circle, and you're going to find where it says gradient map. So you're going to click on that, and when you originally click on it, by default yours should probably show up and be black and white. Mine's orange and white. Regardless of what colors yours initially ends up, you're going to double click on that long rectangle, and it's going to pull up your gradient editor. And then you're going to want to choose 2 colors that are kind of fluorescent. So I'm going to double click. These are stops. These little houses, these things that look like houses are stops. So I'm going to double click in the first one. I'm going to choose my first color, like that pink. And then I'm going to double click in my second one and choose my second color. Maybe blue, green, I like that. And then we're going to click OK. And then to commit your gradient that you've selected, you're going to hit OK. Now I'm going to collapse this down. So now you can see there is a new layer above the car layer, and this is an adjustment layer because it is not on the actual photo itself. It's not hurting the photo. So if I hide this, your original photo is underneath just as is. So if I didn't like this, it's super easy just to delete this adjustment layer right here. So super useful. It's non-destructive because it's not hurting the actual photograph. Okay, great. So now the next thing that we're going to learn how to do is typically we bring images in to our project by opening them, but we're going to do this a little bit differently this time. We usually open and then copy and paste. This time we're going to place embedded. So as long as you've already downloaded the image to your computer, you're going to go to File, and you're going to go to Place Embedded. So File, Place Embedded, and then you're going to select and you're going to go from your downloads. Now I should have told you guys a little earlier, you want to prep by downloading the car, the grunge halftone, and the shimmering lights, the bokeh lights. So the next one we're going to do, we're going to be bringing in the grunge halftone. So when I click on place, it places it right on top of the image. So very useful. And then we're going to just take this and we're going to stretch it out so it covers the whole entire photo underneath. And then you're going to hit the check mark to commit. Now, once you've done this, we're going to change our layer blending mode, which is right here where it says normal. So by bringing this in, it's already created a new layer on our top of our layer stack, and we're going to change our blending mode to color burn. When we change it to color burn, it should now allow us to see the car through that tread halftone that we have on there. And then we're going to leave the opacity for our grunge halftone at 100, but we're going to drop our fill down to about 80%. So the fill is kind of the intensity of it, so you're going to see it diminishes the effect slightly, but it's not affecting the transparency or the opacity. So you're going to put your fill on 80. All right, for the next thing that we're going to do, we're actually going to go and we're going to bring in the lights. And we're going to do it the exact same way, so it's good practice. So you've already downloaded it to your computer, hopefully. If not, take a moment to do that. Then you're going to go File, Place Embedded again, and you're going to select the lights and select Place. And again, you're going to stretch it out to fill the whole project, and you're going to hit the check mark at the top. Okay. Now, this time we're going to change our layer blending mode from normal to screen, and that will allow us to still see the lights but knock down the intensity. And then we're going to knock the fill of those lights down to about 50%. If you want it a little higher, you can do, of course, this is your design, so you can tweak it to your liking. If you wanted to keep it a little higher, you could. Okay, and again, you see each layer that we are placing embedded is creating its own layer on top of the next. All right, so now we're actually going to head to the internet, and we're going to be going to a website. So this website is has a bunch of brushes for download. It's brusheezy.com. So BRUSHEEZY.com, and you can see it on the screen there. So you're going to type that in. You're going to do a Google search. It should be the first one that pops up. If you do a Google search, it should be the first one that pops up, or it should just take you to the website if you do the .com. Then you're going to go up to, now this has a lot of cool brushes to download and different images and whatnot. Some of them require that you have a membership or you pay for them, but some are free. So we're going to be looking for some splatter brushes. So I'm going to type in splatter brushes, and then I'm going to hit search. Not sure why that popped up, but okay, here we go. Now, as you're looking through, you're going to see some of them have the premium in the top left corner. You don't want to go for those because those are the ones that cost money. But any of the ones like this one or this one that don't have the premium, you can download. I'm going to get this one right here. So I'm going to click on it, free download. It's going to download, and then I'm going to pop back into Photoshop. But before I do that, it's going to go right here. I'm going to double click to open the zipped folder, and then I'm just going to open it up to see that I got it. So there's 4 brushes in that one, so I'm going to go ahead and close out and go back into Photoshop. Okay, now I'm going to click on my brush tool. I'm going to go up to my options bar, click on my little drop down, and find the gear. There's always a menu under the gear, so I'm going to go to the gear, and I'm going to go to import brushes, and then I'm going to select the brush that I just downloaded and hit open. And then right here, you're going to see an extension that has ABR. You're going to click on that one, and then you're going to hit open. And you should then have your brushes. If you take this and scroll down to the bottom, you should have your imported brushes right here at the bottom. Now you have to click on the little arrow to the left of your folder to pop the folder open. So then you're going to go ahead and select one of your brushes. For whatever reason, when they initially open, they usually are kind of big. You can see how large that is. So I'm going to shrink it down. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on my foreground color box to pop up my color selection. I'm going to go ahead and select a neon color. And I'm making sure that I'm on my paint splatter layer. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some paint splashes. I'm going to switch to another brush in there. Again, they always are huge. I'm going to step back and get rid of that. They're really big to begin with, so I'm going to shrink that down. I'm using my bracket keys next to the P key to change the size. I could do it up here if I wanted to. I think I'm going to do maybe another color as well. So it's up to you if you want to keep it all the same color or do a couple different colors. And you can have, if you wanted to have more than one layer here, you definitely could. Say if you have different colors or for the different splatter brushes, you could have more than one paint splatter layer. I'm gonna just adjust, play around with the opacity. I'm gonna drop it mine a little bit to around 70, 75. Again, that is completely to your liking. So now we're done for the most part with our 80s inspired project. So we're gonna flatten it, layer, flatten image. Gonna save it, file, save as, and then we're going to go ahead and turn that in.